Hello, Daria. Hello,
Hello, Boi.
everyone. Welcome to our live interview today. And I have an honor to bring to the interview Daria Tiesler. She was the former pro athlete, and her story is very inspiring. And she has a journey of taking back her identity after injury from her work. And today, Daria here, and she will share with us about her journey. So, Daria, how did the dream of become an athlete uh, um, first came to your mind? And since what age you decided to be an athlete? You,
Thank you, Boi. Thank you, everyone. First of all, I'm so pleased to be here, and um, it is probably the first time I'm going to share my story in the way we are going to share the story today, and took many years for me to be able to breathe and do not cry, because it's emotional. Still, you see, after so many years, when I saw introduction, I'm like, oh dear, so many years into process of healing and transformation, and still is triggering something in me. And coming back to your question, Boy, uh, I grew up in Poland, and I always knew I was always very active, and I somehow knew that my dream is to be athlete. I didn't know who I'm going to be, what type of sports I'm going to play, but always I knew there is something in me. I had some form of leadership skills. I was the oldest from my siblings. I always was like. Excited when I saw my father playing sports. So my father used to play sports in like a little league in my town. He was a football player, and actually he was able to play in a higher league. But then he went like second division in football. But then he met my mom, and he never pursued his career. My mom was also very athletic, and at age, I think 10, I went to like physical education class, like after school activity, and I was seeing girls playing basketball, and I'm like, and my mom also, that was like an activity where also teachers were playing together with children and with like puppies, and I'm like, Mom, what is this? I'm very interested in. And then the next time I went for that class, and I participate. And as today I remember, I didn't know what was going on. The ball was going somewhere there, but I knew I was excited about this. And I
mm,
always was, since years 7, 8, and 9. When we were having activities between classes, I would be always the fastest one, right?
mm,
And I would be the fastest from my class between girls and boys, and I would always compete as a winner in my class with another boy from another class.
yeah.
Unfortunately, he always was winning, always. But that was my path. And then, I started to participate in more activities, and I think my records in different athletic performance, because from the young age, I have been trying different type of sports. So I was very agile, and created strength and physical fitness from different angles, and that's what helped me later on when I was playing handball. And handball is that type of game that needs this type of resilience and agility and different form of fitness, right?
Mm,
Strength, power. You have to be fast. You have to be
mm,
fast long term, not just for 10 seconds, because the game lasts 60 seconds. And
mm,
later on, over time, at age 17, I got picked by, I think it's called like a hunter, like sport hunter, and they were searching for players
mm,
to first division in handball. I decided to sign the contract. I went
Mm.
to play to bigger city. I left my home when I was 17, and
Wow.
I played there for 2 years. And later on, this team dissolved. There is always money involved, right? And I got transferred to another team in the same town. I was playing in Gdańsk, north of Poland,
Mm.
and I started to play for the first division team. But my dream was always to play in Olympics, be an athlete, right? I had a big mindset towards that. My parents were doing entrepreneurial business, so they were
Mm.
having all these quotes of you can win, you can be the best,
Yeah.
just follow your dream, follow your passion, connect to this. They were
Mm.
reading books of Tony Robbins,
Wow.
Awakening Giant within. So I grew up around the
Wow.
positivity. They were always believing in me. So that is a big thank you for them.
Mm.
And I remember having like posters of players, watching games. So there's lots of subconscious mind and
Yeah.
conscious mind work that I
Yeah.
didn't realize I was doing since young ages. And now, as I'm reviewing my past career, and my story is more coming from the heart than from the heart hurting me, right? I don't cry anymore. I get emotional, right? Like that's triggered me. But yes, that was the main thing I wanted to do, and was a big
Yeah.
dream, big, definitely, yes.
Yeah, according to your story, I can see that the you had a dream and you know your strength and you know what you wanted since very young, since you were a child. Like for me, I didn't experience that like you. I didn't know it as soon as you. But and then you follow your dream since you was like 17 years old. You started play in the team and want to follow that career path. And for how long did you play and perform as an athlete? And how long it takes from 17 to the time where you had a breakdown, you have an injury?
Yes, so I would always say that up to 17 was my kind of junior time when I was learning what does it mean sport, different agility, playing as a team. And then since 17 until I was 20, 21, I think I got injury. I was 21, 22. It
Oh,
was 2004. So I had like still growing more as a senior player. And definitely the last year of my before I got injury, my career was very strong and very powerful. And that was when I was at my peak, and that was where I was
mm,
the strongest. And
yeah.
I remember we actually won a bronze medal the year before, and we were aiming for another bronze or silver medal in a Polish championship. And we started to play in Europe Cups. It was like a lower division of cup than championship of Europe, but that was the games I started to miss because I got injury. Right, so you have 5 6 years, around 5 6 years of me playing in a top division, and trying, give my best. And when I got injury in 2000, apologies, in 2002, in 2004, I moved to London. So I got injured in 2002, and actually 5 months within that injury, I'm getting paper from national Olympic, national
Wow.
the Polish national team, like
Oh my
hunters or
God.
delegation, and that was my first letter asking me to come for camps. For national team, I would be supporting a national team from around 2 3 years. So if they were missing some players, we were very close as a team also to the places where they often would be meeting, and I would be going there together with my best friend, who later on they won actually fourth place at the World Championship twice, right? So, Monica, hello from me. You are amazing, and yes. So, and then I got
Mm.
injury, and what
Yeah,
can you
like
do, right?
yeah.
Life
So
can.
I feel like you almost hit your dream, right? You almost achieved your dream because you got the letter to play in Olympic Games. And so that means that if the injury didn't happen, your dream would come true. You would play in Olympic Games and maybe you even more advanced in your career. So at that moment where you almost hit your dream and then something, an obstacle happened to your life and it's something that you cannot control, right? It's something like injury is something that you cannot control. And I know the feeling that time would be very difficult. So, how did you feel at that time, and how long did it take you in order to overcome that feelings?
Hmm. Just quickly clarify, I got a letter to play in a national team on the squad to come for the national camps that would be preparing to play in national games. But I do believe, as you said, Boy, and that told me my friend one day that if you were playing, I believe you would be able to play in with us in World Championships. What would happen? We wouldn't know, right? But I agree with you, Boy. I was very close, right? And then we are having 9 minutes of a game. It was a Polish league game, and within 9 minutes, I'm entering. I'm I was going towards shooting the goal on the attack. I got the ball from the goalkeeper, and that's it. I got went down on the floor, and somehow I lost control. My knee
Mm,
twisted, and I got an injury for cruciate ligament, anterior cruciate ligament breakdown. That's very common injury in handball. So it wasn't like, oh, surprising what's happened from one side. From the other side, it was very surprising for everyone that this happened to me, because I was
yeah.
very strong. I had a strong fitness. I was like, I remember that I've lost around 13 centimeters on circumference on my thighs
Mm,
within 2-3 weeks, which is a lot, right? So I lost lots of
yeah.
muscle mass. Um, and the story of overcoming is long journey. First of all, I didn't even know that what I'm going through. I got lots of support, physical support from my team, from friends, from family, from
Mm,
coach, from from like a sports therapist, a massage therapist. You've got this there, right? As an athlete, you've got this there. But unfortunately, and I think that is still a very common problem in sports,
yeah.
to support athlete mentally and
Yeah.
emotionally. They are going through that.
Yeah.
I think why this is happening, because everyone expect from us, because we are having
Mm,
strong mindset just to
mm,
overcome and
mm,
doing it. No one
mm,
asks you what's going inside, right? And
mm,
that's what I was. I'm like, I went home and I said, Mom, I got this injury, but don't worry. Most of my colleagues at the
oh,
team had this within 8 months. That is more or less recovery, or used to be recovery from that injury, depending from which part of your leg they take in the tendon to bring it inside. And
mm-hmm,
this is 20 years later. We have different techniques, and I believe the recovery is completely different. And that's what's
mm,
happened with me in 2014. Because that is, I had three. I will go into that in a moment. But I said, okay, that's 9 months. The mindset is there. I will be still doing upper body exercise, still doing abs,
mm,
right, whatever. Just I will be training extra leg. So that is in your head,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You don't even bring it into you that you've got injury. You just have to go for it, do it, surgery. Better do faster, right? Because
Mm,
faster you come back, there's no obstacles. You see, this is the
mm,
difference in a worlds of athletes
yeah.
and worlds of mm, I don't want to say ordinary human, because
mm,
athletic is extraordinary life. I want that
mm,
people live this life because you can fulfill your potential, right? Ordinary life is amazing as well. And I'm learning still how to be normal human, right? I went through so much work, and
yeah,
somatic practitioner told me you have to enjoy the presence and the
mm,
little things you are achieving in your life,
mm,
because I never was happy and satisfied, because athletes have always this drive for more,
mm,
for better, for faster,
mm,
better angle of shooting. You run faster, you get, there is like I've realized some form of perfectionist there. And
mm,
I was perfectionist because my mom was perfectionist, so I was perfect child. But on the top of that, athletic performance make me even more perfect child, right? And I
yeah,
didn't realize this for many years after I had to brand my business. And I suddenly, like, I'm stuck in, right? I'm like, why this is happening, right? And you are like,
mm,
this is not working, this is not that way, this should be black, this should be white. You are very perfect.
mm,
So Boy, again, coming back to your question, is long journey. For many years, for around 12 years, because I moved to London as a escape from my life. I didn't know who I
mm,
was. I I've lost confidence in myself, in my body, in everything that was happening around me. Now I can say that I was going through depression. I would be locking myself in a room, crying, then coming out and being normal for 2 hours, hiding what I was going through first, because no one would be understanding. It's like, oh, don't worry. And
yeah,
another thing, Boy, my body was giving me signs that there was something wrong inside my knee.
mm,
I felt it.
yeah,
And that is the problem many people encounter, because they going
mm,
to doctors and they saying, I know that there is something going on. But there
yeah,
is people telling, or people will tell you, your friends, it is in your head, right?
mm,
It's not in your head.
yeah,
I just want to empower you here to believe in your body's signs and symptoms, and what you embody. There is some truth to that. And I
mm,
remember the director of my club said, "This is just in your head." I said, "No, it's not in my
mm,
head. My friend had injury at the same time as I. She
yeah,
had surgery next day, and she
mm,
was recovering completely different. And I
mm,
couldn't walk without full flexion and extension for 4 weeks after surgery, 6 months after surgery, 2 years after surgery, which after turned to be 12 years. So I was walking without proper walk. Imagine walking with
mm,
bent knee, not able to fully extend for
yeah,
12 years.
yeah,
I had three corrections of the surgery, which weren't successful either. And after that, in 2004, I just gave up.
mm,
I gave up because mentally I was broken. I said, I
yeah,
cannot handle this more. I need break. I need to
mm,
find what I'm going to do with my life. My life
mm,
always was related to sport. I was using my body. That was my
mm,
job. I was
yeah,
getting paid for playing sports,
mm,
and that was the reason I ran away to London without
mm,
speaking English. But
yeah,
mindset was going to go through that, right? And
mm,
uh, and later on in 2014, I had another surgery. But in 2012, I realized I need to go for it again. I had one therapy, it's kind of similar to acupressure. I was
mm,
searching for therapy for myself as a trainer, so I was already training people and working with them. So I was educating myself a lot, and then he did acupressure. He pressed certain points around my knee and
mm,
around my stomach, which were responsible to referring to the nervous system and trauma. And I suddenly started to cry like crazy. And that was
mm,
breaking point for me of letting So anger, resentment, why this happened to me,
Mm.
feeling sorry for
Mm.
myself, feeling like angry on all the world, nobody understood me, and that was my healing. So letting
Mm.
go of all this negative stuff and toxic thinking,
Mm.
that was the breaking point for me, right? And I
Yeah.
know that many people suffer because they cannot let go, and I'm not
Yeah.
forcing them. Look, it took me like 12 years to let
Mm.
go, right, of
Yeah.
trauma. Hmm.
So according to your story, what I heard is like at first when you had injury because you're an athlete, you are not allowed to show your emotion and nobody care about what going on inside you mentally and emotionally. That's why you try to neglect those emotions. You just want to be okay, I need to stand up quickly and then I go after what I want, continue the journey and things like that. And then I think um a part of the thing why it take you 12 years in order to come up with those negative emotions because you try to suppress it for so long. You know, you didn't even in touch with your body and in touch with your emotion, in touch with what's going on inside of you. And until that moment, all the things just come up to you at that point. So I feel like for everybody who going through trauma or, you know, some type of crisis, like something that you know, break their identity. They need to sit and then think about how they feel, you know, feel about how they feel. Not try to, okay, I will go over it. I will be strong again and things like that. So you have the strength that you have a very driven mindset and you're very strong physically. But in order to go through life resiliently, there needs to be have combined with mentally and emotionally, something like that. So about l- um, I want to talk about how did you feel when you're in depression. You feel like you lost the identity, right? Like you wanted to be something in athlete career, and then you couldn't achieve it because of the injury, because of all the things that happened to you. So and then you lost your identity. I supposed to be this, but now because of all these things I cannot achieve what I wanted. And then you need to change a path in order to another path. And in that moment, in that I mean in that time frame, what was going on in your mind, and how did you come out of it, and how did you know, like, okay, now what next? How do you figure out what's next and what the first thing I need to do to get over this thing?
For me, boy, in 2012, um, I don't know, came some awareness as I was further learning about from different courses about the body, about the mind, about how emotions, how this is connected. I was trying different techniques, and I was been trying those techniques on myself, and I've been speaking to different therapists. I do feel that that was allowing me to open up. So I started to talk about my injury. I started to be authentic what is going on, and I started to search for help, right? And in 2012 I said, okay, I think I need to go through surgery once again. Something in me was telling me I have to do it. But the thing is, I knew it that I'm not going to jump into surgery straight away just because my past experiences. I wasn't ready for another unsuccessful surgery. I rather don't have one. But I met a soft tissue therapist,
Mm-hmm.
and soft tissue works so much on the somatic trauma. Remember, I didn't know I had trauma,
Mm.
and I
Yeah.
didn't know that is locked in my body. I wasn't that clever. I didn't have this knowledge. If I had this knowledge, I wouldn't
Mm.
be in that place. So
Mm-hmm.
I think I gave myself credits to
Mm.
hear that there is time for me.
Mm.
But how I will do it and when, I just gave myself time. And that
Mm.
is the problem that I see many of my clients have. They having the problem, whatever is going to be healthy on the level of physical, mental, or emotional. They coming to see me, and it's fantastic because they becoming aware that they have to resolve this problem somehow. But then
Yeah.
they asking about magic solution within 3 weeks time
Mm.
or 4 weeks
Mm.
time. This is not working like that, right? You have
Mm.
to give yourself space. And because I gave myself space, I said, I'm going to search for solution, but I'm not going to stop my life and do what I've done in the past. It's just
Mm.
obsession.
Mm.
Obsession with recovery, with my physical therapy, with all of this. I said, no, this
Mm.
has to walk with me. And I know that this is when people going through grief. It is
Yeah.
exactly the same. You're not
Mm.
getting over it, you
Yeah.
walking with it. So I decided to
Mm.
embody, even now I have goosebumps, I embody my journey, right? And then I went to the soft tissue therapist and I lie down on the bed, and she told me, your knee, my left knee, is completely disconnected from my whole body.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I
Oh.
don't understand what this means. Right? I didn't say, just tell me about it, right? And then she explained how connective tissue work, and then we worked for 2 years. I give
Mm.
myself 2 years to grow in my head that I will have another surgery. So we need to remember my mindset was strong, but somehow my body was telling me it's not yet time, right?
Mm.
And
Yeah.
then within 2 years time, somehow you see things are getting aligned because you becoming connected with the story. You want to heal, you want to transform you, so people coming on your way. So then I met, she referred me to some sport therapist who was working
Mm.
with Watford Football Club in London. He worked with knee surgery, so he knew my case. And that is
Mm.
another thing. I searched for practitioners who
Yeah.
wanted me to become optimal again, people who see possibilities, people who see potential. I couldn't go to a therapist who would say, oh, let's do this and then you will walk. I don't want
Mm.
just walk. I want to
Mm.
run again. Of course,
Mm.
I have to learn what does it mean running again for me and for my physiology. I want to lift weights. I want to be fit. I want to be the closest possible to who I was before, right? So
Yeah.
then he referred me to consultant. The consultant referred me to the surgeon, and the surgeon says, there is mess. The knee is of like very old lady inside, right?
Yeah.
But because you are an athlete, I will do the surgery.
Mm.
Because it was so old, it like was 12 years condition. So no one was giving chances. But there is now, I really want that everyone pays attention to it. We are stuck in with our stories. And we aware of those stories. And I was aware what I was telling myself. And I was telling myself, my knee is limiting me. And because of my knee, I cannot fulfill A, B, C, D, whatever. The problem is my knee. So just before surgery, there was for surgery, I told myself, my knee is not going to be an obstacle for me anymore. It's going to heal, it's going to get so well, it's going to transform, and I cannot lean on my knee when another obstacle in my life will happen. And I was telling this to myself on so conscious level and connected with my body, mind, soul, and heart, because I knew already more about this. So I said, whenever I will stuck and I want to say my knee, I have to take it, I have to just change the conversation I'm having with myself. And after surgery, I woke up in the morning, the knee was working well. They said they cleaned it. They said the surgery was much longer than they expected, but the knee was working well. And and then the journey starts again, right? So it's like another part, what I'm going to do with this. I don't want to come back to use my knee as a limit. And took me another, I think, 1 or 2 years to kind of thinking of it. but I manage, and I don't use my knee anymore as an excuse, right? But I
Mm.
was using this as an excuse. So that is another hinge here.
Mm-hmm.
The story was true and was true to me. But at some point, the story ate me,
Mm.
took me over, uh,
Mm.
and become my limit
Yeah.
and become my excuse
Yeah.
why I cannot do it.
Yeah.
And that's becoming dangerous, because even if I did not get better, I got
Mm-hmm.
better because I prep myself to it as well, right? So that is
Yeah.
another thing. You have to do everything what is in your power to change something.
Yeah.
So then you don't end up with feeling like, oh, did I did everything? And to be very authentic and brave and courageous to say yourself, I did or I didn't, right? So that's what athlete will do. You don't train, you don't get results, right? We cannot ask about results when we do nothing, right?
Yeah.
I become very, and I'm speaking very strongly here, right? Because that's what I believe. But because of my story, I've created so much
Mm.
empathy and so
Mm-hmm.
much self-awareness and compassion to every
Mm.
single person I'm meeting, because I feel them. I know
Mm-hmm.
what you are going through. I'm
Yeah.
here to support you, but at some point, you have to drop the story.
Yeah. So after what you saying about like how you recover and find your identity back, I have the same experience with my own with myself, and also with some of people that come to me and want to learn to play the piano. They have those stories just like you. They had a dream, and then they have those limiting stories. For example, I'm too old to play the piano. My finger is not long enough. It's okay to play piano, something like that. For and or they have some condition that they some story limiting belief that they tell themselves why it limit them to do something. The same like you. Like you have the story that okay, the leg is something that will limit me from doing what I want. But it's just like you need to let go of that story, and maybe you can embrace that. You embrace that. Okay, I have that injury, but it doesn't stop me. It's not something that stop me from achieving what I want. You have a goal, and then you if you cannot go straight to that goal, you can go around way. And then I think that you found another way in order to achieve your dream. Even it's not pursuing a athlete career anymore, but now you have another dream, and maybe you can share with us like that dream, your current dream.
Thank you so much, Boy, and great that you are sharing this, because um, there's always something that is going to stop in us. And I just want to be very authentic with everyone. I still have things that I need to overcome, right? And that's okay. And I also have learned to embrace this. That I am not perfect, and there is another thing that may be coming, and I will have to overcome. But once you overcome one thing, it's becoming easier to overcome another problem, and you then much more focus on solutions than constantly being focused on the problem. And yes, Boy, my passion and love for the last 21 years, right? So as I was going through my own journey and healing and transformation, I started to work as a performance coach, regenerative nutritionist, health nutritionist, a functional nutritionist, and health coach or life coach, and personal trainer. And I was like combining different modalities to support my male and female clients. But in 2020, I have set up a holistic performance method wellness, HPM wellness, and I'm hugely pushing towards supporting female entrepreneurs in their journey to
Mm,
achieve their dream life,
yeah.
to having more time for themselves, and to to following the purpose. And I know that the purpose is what drives them, and what was drive whatever it is, right? Usually it's to improve someone else's life, right?
Mhm.
But I know that they, on the way, they're going to encounter this physical, mental, and emotional obstacles, right?
Mm.
That are
Yeah.
going to be blocking them from
Mm.
overcoming. And this is where my experience and passion and
Mm.
knowledge and education from different modalities of wellness is coming. So thank you so much for asking me. I'm so excited about this, and it took me a while to find again
Mm.
what I want to do. I know that I love being with people. I
Mm.
love spreading the positivity. I love spread the message of potential, right? That comes from sports, right? But I had to. I always say my journey is because I have message to pass, and how I
Mhm.
could be authentic, and
Mm.
how people could trust me if I didn't go through this. Now I can
Yeah.
say, okay, I know I've been there. I know how you suffer. Let's come
Mhm.
together and let's overcome this together. And I have tools for you how to you can make it happen.
Mhm. Yeah. So I feel that there a few dots that connects to your dream, what you're dreaming now. You know, like you know that you have strength in physically. You know how to train your body to be strong. Also, you have a strong mindset. It's something that you inherit from your family. You know, you have parents and the environment in the childhood that help you mentally too. So you have those strengths. And but you didn't go through any challenge in life like injury in order to feel like how it looked like, to feel that you can be stop, like something that stopped you in the way. Because growing up, you know that okay, I'm strong. I strong mentally, physically. I can go after what I want. I can achieve my dream. But then something that happened to you, and then you need to consider again. Okay, so how to what to do about this, and then you reconnect to your emotion, and you know how to overcome those challenges. If you don't have that challenge, if you don't have that lesson that you learned from the past, that how to overcome challenge like that, you cannot have any experience to help your clients nowadays to go through what they want, you know, like along the way when they want to be physically healthy or they want to be strong mentally, physically, and emotionally, they will face some challenges. And because you already been there, so you know how it feel like to overcome it. And the tools and the change of the mindset and the change of the way that you say to yourself in order to get through that. So I think it's a combination, whether now you look back you feel like okay, it's a challenge, it's something that stopped you from the first dream that you have, but also it's an ingredient add to your life in order to pursue a second dream in your life. You understand? So that's what
Yes,
I
yes,
feel about the story, you know. And
yes.
some, and life is so magical sometimes, like you go through life and you think some obstacle comes to you because life want or God want to stop you from doing something. It's not. It's like okay, I you want to do something bigger than this. You have a bigger mission than this, and these challenges come to you because they want to help you to achieve bigger vision, something like that. So okay,
It's
so
boy. Just one thing. It's just at the start. Sorry, it's fuck up. You don't want to sorry. You don't want
yeah,
to accept this. You
yeah,
don't want to think that this is aligning you. And everyone
mm,
says this, oh, this is aligning you. You're going to be better. You're going to be more focused on your purpose. Yes, but to go through this takes so much suffering, so
mm,
much courage, so much pain, so much negative emotions. No one's understand you, and that is what we need to also talk more, because
yeah,
it's beautiful when I am aligned and I know
mm,
that this helping me. But when you are in this mess and when
mm-hmm,
you are in darkness,
yeah,
this is where I want everyone to think that there is a light.
mm,
You don't know what is going to be. I didn't know I will go to London. I will meet my second love, that is my husband. I will be now supporting my females, and I will actually use my entrepreneurial skills. I didn't know this. I
Mm,
only and there is one thing I always been telling myself for 12 years.
mm,
I cannot lose hope.
mm,
I for 12 years I've been telling myself consistently, one day you will get over and your knee will be healed and
mm-hmm,
transformed. And I
mm-hmm,
know even I had dreams about this, like my knee is stretching. This is the
mm,
power of talking visualization, right? This is going
yeah,
on that brain level, right? So that was one thing. And yeah, I think that was that one thing. Don't lose hope.
mm-hmm,
There is a solution. It's just you are not yet aligned to the end. But those little things that you are coming in your life are those moments of awareness to wake you up,
mm-hmm,
right? So my thing is, do not wait until you get big slap. You don't want this. You know what I mean? Because then you have to pick yourself up from the slap and it's
yeah.
much harder, right?
Mm.
So yes, that's what I wanted to add.
So you're talking about all the darkness that you experience in that moment, in when you're still in that, dark time. I feel like it's a little bit like grief over a lost person, but this time it's a grief over a loss of yourself. Like you have an ideal self, or you have an imagination or something, like you want to be something, or this is the version that I want to be, or this is me, but now I need to, I lost this identity. And those darkness time is like, it's the time when you need to grieve and then let go of that and
Yes.
accept that, okay, I need to let go.
Don't forget about this time. Don't listen
Mm,
everyone who tells you whatever you're going through. Get over it. Wake up
mm.
tomorrow and just go and work. You know what
Yeah,
I
it
mean?
doesn't work that way, right?
No, does not work that well. But you will hear people wanting you to do that. You know what? Then
Mm-hmm.
go
Yeah.
in you,
Mm-hmm.
get aware of what you're going through, and like I said, if you have to go slow pace, because this is like me, I said I decided I'm not ready for another surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Even I
Yeah.
knew I supposed to do it, I gave myself space. If I did
Mm.
straight, I might be playing sports yet, but maybe that
Mm.
wasn't my path. So I said, you know what, I'm leaving this where it is, and I will
Mm.
walk slowly. And it's the same happened when I was recovering post pregnancy. Right, I have
Mm.
3 years old daughter.
Mm.
I used to be athlete. I'm fit, whatever. Right, I was training with my daughter, lifting weights for whole 9 months of her pregnancy. Right, but I told myself I'm not going to get crazy post pregnancy.
Mm.
Even I
Mm.
don't want to be showing off that I have six packs within 6 months. I could, but I said no, this is not what I want for me. I will enjoy the process in different way, and I'm
Mhm.
not going to listen everyone. So if that is the case, that
Mhm.
you have to go through this
Mhm.
moment, go learn how
Mhm.
to work with it. But then when you become aware, you using this as a comfort, you using this as an excuse, you you have to become brave
Mm.
and authentic and courageous and say, you know what, that is not working anymore for me. And the body and signs from everywhere are going to come to you. Trust me, you will remember my words. When tomorrow you wake
Mm.
up and suddenly something happens, say, oh, she was talking about this. I have to do this and that. I
Mhm.
cannot keep stuck into my story.
Okay. So now, can you summarize like the few key points that help you go through the dark time, or something like reminders for someone who is going through something that's similar, like you, maybe not injury, but something like loss, or they lost something in their life that very valuable to them, whether it's their health, whether it's their identity, whether it's their marriage, whether it's their a loved one, whatever loss that they have, and you experience all of those kind of loss. What your advice to people, and that you think that your lessons that help you go through those times, and you think that people need to think about that in order to go through those times.
Uh, I think number one is you're going to be aware, obviously, of what is happening or what's happened in your life and why you may be getting triggered. But you might be getting aware superficially. So I think give yourself chance to feel it. And I think that is one thing we always run away. We don't want to feel it. Therefore, we eat, therefore, we smoke, therefore, we drink alcohol or have any other addictions. And remember, emotions are in motion, they flowing. So once you allow them to flow, and movement is a great thing to do that, because movement is allowing emotions to flow, and movement is just magical, right? There is so much studies about brain health, about the depressions and anxiety actually getting less once we are moving. So that is number one thing. Number two is give yourself space. If you, yes, you don't need to just get over it within a week or two. Give yourself space. And again, if you going to start to be aware of your body symptoms and signs, you will know when is end of this stagnation, of this freezing moment, of this protection, because that is the moment, you just there. I don't want to do it anything outside it, and that's okay. Embrace this moment. Never lose hope.
Yeah.
And even use visualization and imaginations, what you how this problem you're going through is going to heal, who you're going to become once this problem gone, what you're going to do when you transformed, because you have hope. So in my imagination and vision, my brain knows that one day I overgo my injury. So I am imagine what I'm going to do. So power of visualization is huge, right? Don't skip this. There are four questions. They're called Cartesian questions. You ask yourself, what will happen if I do? What will happen if I don't do? What will not happen if I do, and what will happen if I will not do? You can type Cartesian questions. Answer those questions for yourself in the future. So then you are like protecting yourself, because this is imagination and your wishes answering this, right? And another thing is, once you know that this story is not anymore relevant, and you starting to do something about it, you have to keep catching yourself each time you're using this story. And it's okay if you're going to use it. It's normal. That's what said Edgar Tolle. The pattern is there, right? But you already winner, because you aware of it. So one day you use it, another day you're not using. Then you use it again, but then you're going to have less space in year or month time, that you will stop to use this as a limiting belief, right? I want to kind of give you tips to empower you, to empower your position. And I give you so much self-compassion. You have to have self-compassion towards yourself. And I think self-compassion works better than self-love, right? I'm just learning to understanding what does it mean self-love, really, right? But I want empower that you here, you've got the story, is a fuck up story, as I said, is dark place. Be there as long as you want, but also believe that you're going to come out from this, because there is something for you that the story is going to teach you, but you want no answer for this right now. You will know years later. But don't lose hope. Never ever never lose hope. Doesn't matter what it is. It's a cancer, it is terminal story, it is like my story of whatever. Please don't lose the hope, and go and repeat this to everyone, because you never know when solution comes.
Thank you so much. So nowadays you are providing some service to help people. Can you tell us more about what the solution that you offering right now in your company?
Yes, so right now I am supporting fiery, I call ambitious female entrepreneurs, and I've got different types of offering for them, from mental support, physical support, and emotional support. But I use mm, much more targeted strategies like personal training, supporting your body physically, so you're actually able to feel it in your body. Then I use personalized nutrition, precision nutrition, regenerative nutrition, whatever you call it. But the goal is to address the root causes through nutrition of the imbalances on the cellular level, right? I do different type of functional medicine testing. I use different supplements. We use the different herbs, but we work on the gut, on the nervous system. So addressing the root causes. So it's like the same as with me. I had to address my root causes to proceed forward. Then I use power of performance coaching, which is enhancing your performance, your health, your life, your relationship, whatever you come in with. There is, if you come with health, there is somewhere on the line that maybe you struggle physically, maybe you struggle with relationship, maybe you struggle with career or job, right? But so again, we're searching for root cause, and this type of conversation as we are having today with Boi, it's so powerful. Let's use the story. Let's find out what else is happening. I'm not doing counseling. I'm not a psychotherapist. I'm not a counselor, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
working as a coach in a present moment of someone to bring someone from now further forward, right? There is an element of past, but if there is a bigger problem happening on the psychology level, they would refer to someone. And then I
Mm-hmm.
use this mindfulness of the present moment, purpose, connection with yourself, with mind and body, and whichever way you decide to work with me. I have smaller packages, 30 days challenges, bigger packages, one-on-one and group. The goal is to always talk to you from all angles, 360-degree vision. So you will not see me talking just, oh, you have to follow that diet, or you have to follow only, this routine,
Mm-hmm.
right? I like to use weight training, and there is lots of benefits of this for female, for our physical health, mental health, and emotional health. But
Yeah.
I'm talking about movement, right? So it's like I said, umbrella of many things in one goal. Because notice, I didn't use just one modality. I use
Mm-hmm.
different modalities to help me transform and shift the trauma.
Yeah. So right now you have your clients, whoever they have a big goals in their life, they have some dream they want to go after, but they don't feel in line with their body emotionally and mentally. They can work with you in order to find, alignment in all those areas so that they can achieve their dreams. So throughout your experience and also your expertise and also the certification and education that you had, you are able to help them achieve those dreams in mentally, physically, and emotionally. So thank you so much for Daria for today, and for people who want to contact Daria and to work with her or to have further conversation with her around what it would look like for her to help you to achieve your dream and align your body and your mind, your heart with what you want. Just contact Daria on LinkedIn and website and email here. So thank you again. And do you have any last word for the audience here?
Yes, Boy, thank you so much for this wonderful move, wonderful gift that we all receiving. I receive to be able to share my story. People receive to be able to be receiver, and hopefully they gaining hope from this. Um, I just want to say, doesn't matter what you are coming with, it's a big thing for you, right? Do not compare, and I am welcome you with any obstacles, right? Usually people stuck on physical self, and this is where they stuck in, right? And if you have some suffer from physical issues, health problems, join me. Don't worry that there is like a, oh, maybe there is not enough because I don't suffer emotionally, psychologically, right? You might not be aware from this, right? So start where you are, be brave, and let's talk, like take opportunity to get better, right? But whatever is going to happen for you with it next 24 or 48 hours, it's another story, right? So thank you so much, everyone, and thank you so much, Boy.
Yeah, thank you, Daria. And if you have a story that you want to share with me or be on the interview on Extra Tribe International, don't be afraid just to leave me a message. Thank you, Daria, again.
Thank you,
And
Boy.
good night, everyone. Good night,
Good
everyone in
night.
Vietnam. Have a nice day in London, Daria, and everybody else over the world. Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.